Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.
How many of you think marketing is selling ice cream to an Eskimo? Surprisingly large number of not PGP students, marketing people think so. Just tells you how completely we misunderstood the discipline.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Professor of the Year. Today we have Professor Murthy with us from IIM Bangalore. Sir, as you mentioned that you are here to give us answers that the marketing students look for. So without further ado, I would like to get into this and ask you a few questions that all the marketing students need to know. So, sir, to begin with, the first question that I have for you is, what are the current marketing trends that a brand manager must keep in mind?
Yeah, actually there are many. One, because of this, whatever situation we are having here, especially post-COVID, what happened is, whether you like it or not, you have to go online now. This was not the case in the past. So, now the challenge is becoming far too much. So, what might be called digital laggards, if one might use that word. That means the last bunch of fellows, for whatever reason, they have not jumped on. Not all of them will, but many of them will now. I think that's one change that will come up pretty much forcibly. Some of this happened during demonetization, but I think now this is a sort of double dhamaka where they'll have no other option but to get on. The rural penetration of mobile is not very high even now, despite all the numbers. On the average, the numbers are high. But the rural penetration is still 50-60%, and you need a lot more to catch up. Now, many of those people will also come in. So obviously that online story will take off in a big way. So two big things have come in. One is the digital laggards. That's one bunch of guys who will probably get in. The other, and this is an interesting trend, this was already ticked by some of these online companies and IT companies like Microsoft and so on. Big tick off now on the vernacular communications. Whatever we have said now in English, the kind of conversation, can we have this in Hindi or in Telugu or Tamil or whatever? That is going to be the big thing. And also communication, advertising, how to communicate to somebody.
So, for example, we have seen huge number of phones and internet connection getting into the tier 2, tier 3 cities and villages also. How is that going to change the marketing that we have seen so far?
Yeah, 2-3 things have been important, especially the penetration of mobile and the kind of ambush that Jio did. So the kind of, both of them have actually put in a lot of bandwidth in the hands of people who never had access. And now, I was surprised actually people are watching movies. In fact, I watched a few ads on mobile. They were even better than what you see on your TV. In fact, the visual quality, I suddenly realized that the smaller the screen, the better the visual quality. In fact, we think that it's bigger. It needs a much better technology to give you great resolution on a big screen. About 15 years back, I thought people won't buy vegetables online. A house was sold online. House. Part of the thing is, maybe one thing that's actually happening there is what is typically called showrooming. Showrooming typically is you check out all the, you go to the shop, check out all the brands, and in front of that guy, you surf the internet, find the cheapest price, and this is like adding insult to injury. This is happening in a big way. I think the big thing that actually happened is mobile and the ability to interact now because of digital media. If you looked at a TV, it's a very passive kind of communication, one-sided. Digital media, on the other hand, is two-sided, and you very quickly get feedback on what you say. And you just load something on the YouTube, and somebody will say, "What a crappy ad," and it immediately comes back to you. So, at one point of time, public relations and so on, they were built over a period of years. Fame was built over a period of years. Now, one crisis and you're finished. And it go viral, and crisis is just 2 minutes away. PR crisis is just 2 minutes away. I mean, that sort of a thing again is a completely new kind of. It's a very, very worrying thing, and instant fame also. Just as instant crashing can happen. I have seen a video of a Karnataka farmer singing just like Justin Bieber. So this is this sort of thing. I think it's a very big change. I think it's a very, very big change.
How do you think it is important for a B school graduate of today to understand this market better and understand how this social media marketing works?
The first thing you need is actually curiosity about people. If you want to be in this discipline of marketing, I don't see much of it in B schools, many of them. The strange thing is, let me give you some examples. For instance, you look at Bombay, there are lots of colleges, very good colleges, in fact, management institutes, very well-known names. People come from all over the country. I'm sure they come, just as they come to IIMs in Bangalore and all the others. But just ask yourself, how many of these guys, it's a 2-year stay, mind you. It's not a small thing. It's a 2-year stay. How many of them picked up even a sprinkling of Marathi? I doubt. तो तुझे marketing करना है इसके बाद किसको? To whom? I don't think there's a disconnect actually. So what will happen is you will actually become a highly paid babu in an MNC. How many students in IIM Bangalore, for instance, have picked up any Kannada? How many students in IIM Kolkata have picked up any Bengali? And we're almost proud of that. I can't believe this. And this is not this generation. By the way, I was a student here. It was always like this. I'm surprising if we have become a Brown Sahib Babu colony and you want to do marketing, but you don't know anything about it. They're very good at connecting with people. Extremely good at connecting with people. Because you won't get any insights, and without insights, there is no marketing. Fundamentally, that's the issue. Those things that you talked about with digital analytics, those are techniques. I can learn them. But this is something this is an attitude. I don't know. You have to cultivate it.
So to build on that, actually, my next question was something like, what are the qualities that are needed in the marketing manager?
The general scheme of things, marketing guys were supposed to be very glib. One of the questions that is usually asked is, this is the first question I usually ask before starting the course is, how many of you think marketing is selling ice cream to an Eskimo? Surprisingly large number of not PGP students, marketing people think so. Just tells you how completely we misunderstood the discipline. I mean, imagine if you were to sell instead a rug or a heater, it will fly off the shelves. Why are you wasting your time? In other words, this is in fact the fundamental issue I have been finding, because many of them, the first chapter in marketing book, any book, 101 marketing, 101, Sri Ganesh will tell you marketing is not the same as selling. Marketing is now becoming more and more listening. It always was. In fact, the more successful fellows actually listen much more carefully than the unsuccessful fellows, or not so successful.
How do you think you gather the human insights? Is it just listening, or there are other aspects to it that is associated with it? And how important is that?
I think two things are absolutely crucial. One is the ability to observe. One is observation. Second is thinking. How many times in your 25 years of education were you asked to just observe something, not say anything, and react after that for half an hour? Second, how often were you asked, don't write anything, just think?
Never.
First observe. Never almost. And that's surprising, considering that education is all about observation and thinking. Observe, think, talk. What do? Normally start talking. That's the disaster of education. And it doesn't matter where you are. Across the board, education in India is suffering from this. I think the ability to actually observe, and if anything, the ability to observe things is going down steadily because of social media. There's a serious attention deficit. You'll have to actually get people to deposit their mobiles in a box before they enter the class. Otherwise, you can't separate them from. If you do not observe and if you do not think, where you will get insights. It needs lots, which is really the reason. For a long time, marketing was confused with aggressiveness. Then the opposite of that is submissiveness. That, of course, will not work. There's something called assertiveness in between, which needs a lot of listening and a little interjection now and then, if necessary, forcefully, not more. That's I don't see these attitudinal skills. In fact, if you see some of the biggest gaps in education in India, and not just management education, is attitudinal gaps. Everything is happening here. So the Kurukshetra is really here. All the battle of brands is happening here. So, it's psychology of what? Individuals, groups, communities, segments, you name it. I mean, it's individual and group psychology. I think essentially education is all that.
Hi guys, Inside IM has come up with an exciting new one-on-one mentorship product where you get to interact with superstar managers from different businesses, different functions. You can ask them everything around your career, your education, your future success. If you are interested, the link is in the description below. Thanks.